The message came at dawn. Every human colony, every station, every ship received it at the same time. Captain Mara Kane stood on the bridge of her cruiser, watching the hologram flicker to life. The Galactic Council's symbol appeared, a golden circle of unity, but there was no unity in what came next. "Humanity has violated the core codes of interstellar peace," the voice announced, cold, emotionless, final. "You are hereby expelled from all galactic territories. Any further presence will result in planetary sterilization." Mara's hands gripped the metal railing, her knuckles turned white. That was it. No trial, no chance to defend themselves, just exile. Around her, the crew stood frozen. Some stared at the screen in shock. Others looked down at the floor, their faces pale. One young officer, barely 20 years old, started crying silently. "Captain," her second-in-command whispered, "what do we do?" Mara didn't answer. She couldn't. The words were stuck in her throat. Within hours, the galaxy turned against them. Trade routes shut down. Space stations locked their doors. Human ambassadors were arrested and thrown into ships like criminals. Old allies, species they had fought beside, saved, helped, they all stayed silent. No one protested. No one spoke up. It was like the entire galaxy had been waiting for this moment. Mara watched the star maps update in real time. One by one, human colonies disappeared from the charts. Earth itself was marked as quarantine zone, no entry. They were being erased. "Captain!" a voice shouted from communications. "Emergency transmission from Earth!" The screen changed. Mara's heart stopped. It was her daughter. 10 years old, dark hair, frightened eyes. She was at the evacuation center on Earth, surrounded by chaos, people screaming, ships launching without warning, guards pushing crowds back with shock sticks. "Mom!" her daughter cried into the camera. "They won't let us on the ships! There's not enough room! Mom, please!" The transmission cut to static. "Reconnect!" she screamed. "Get her back!" "I'm trying!" The comms officer frantically worked the controls. "The signal's gone! Earth's communications are being jammed!" Mara felt something break inside her chest. She wanted to scream. She wanted to punch through the screen. But she was a captain. Her crew was watching. They needed her to be strong. "Set course for Earth," her voice shaking. "Maximum speed." "Captain, the Council has blockaded the system," her navigator warned. "They're shooting down any human ships trying to reach Earth." "I don't care. My daughter's down there." They tried. God, they tried. But the Council fleet was too strong. Massive warships surrounded Earth like an iron wall. Every human vessel that got close was destroyed without warning. No mercy, no hesitation. Mara watched 15 ships explode before her eyes. Hundreds of people, families, children. She had no choice. She turned her ship away. They ran into the darkness, into the area the Council called the Dead Belt, a region of dead planets and unstable stars, the graveyard of failed colonies. The Council believed it was uninhabitable. They thought it would kill the humans faster than any weapon. For 3 months, Mara heard nothing from Earth. Then, one night, a message came through on an old military channel. Scratchy, broken, but unmistakably human. "Not alone out here. Not the first species. They've done this before." Mara sat up in her chair. "Location! Where is that signal coming from?" The scanners swept the darkness, then locked onto something impossible. An ancient structure floating in the void. Not human design, not Council design. Something older, something forgotten. "Captain," the science officer's voice trembled. "Those readings, that structure is over 10,000 years old, and according to these scans, someone's still alive inside." Mara stared at the screen. Her daughter's face flashed through her mind. Earth, the Council's betrayal, and now this. "Prepare a boarding team," she said quietly. "We're going in. Whatever was inside that structure, it might be our only chance." In the graveyard of failed civilizations, we found something that changed everything. The airlock hissed open. Cold air rushed out. air that hadn't been breathed in thousands of years. Mara stepped inside the ancient structure with her team. 5 soldiers, all armed. Their flashlights cut through the darkness like knives. The walls were covered in strange symbols, not human, not any language the council used. "What is this place?" someone whispered. "A tomb," Mara replied, but she was wrong. They walked deeper. The corridor stretched endlessly. Emergency lights flickered on as they passed, somehow still powered after all this time. The walls showed images, carved murals of a species they had never seen before. Tall beings with 4 arms, eyes that glowed in the stone. "Captain, look at this." One of her soldiers pointed at a mural. It showed ships, hundreds of them, and above the ships was a symbol Mara recognized immediately, the Galactic Council's golden circle. But in the carving, the circle was surrounded by fire. "What does it mean?" the soldier asked. Mara touched the wall. Her fingers traced the carved symbols. Then she saw it, at the bottom of the mural. Bodies, thousands of them, floating in space. "It's a warning," she whispered. They found the central chamber an hour later. It was massive, the size of a small city, and in the center stood something that made everyone stop cold. A data core, still active, still glowing. Deus, Mara's engineer, stepped forward. His hands shook as he connected his equipment to the alien system. "Captain, this technology it's centuries beyond anything we have. Can you access it?" "I'm trying. Wait, it's responding. It wants to show us something." The room exploded with light. Holographic images filled the air. A planet, beautiful, green oceans, golden cities, and creatures with 4 arms walking through markets, laughing, living. Then the scene changed. Ships appeared in orbit, council ships. A transmission played, old, distorted, but clear enough. "The Kale species has violated interstellar peace codes. You are hereby expelled." Mara's blood turned cold. The same words, the exact same words they had used on humanity. The hologram continued. The council fleet surrounded the planet. The Kale fought back. Ships clashed. Cities burned. But the Kale were outnumbered, outgunned. Then came the final scene. A weapon, massive, fired from a council flagship. It hit the planet's surface, and everything died. The oceans boiled. The atmosphere burned away. 6 billion Kale, gone in seconds. The hologram froze on a single image, a Kale mother holding her child. Both turned to ash. "They didn't exile them," Deus breathed. "They exterminated them." Mara felt sick. "How many?" Deus worked the controls. More data flooded the screens. Names, species names. 7 of them. 7 species, Deus whispered. "The Council has done this 7 times. They exile a species, claim they're too dangerous. Then they erase them completely." "Are there any survivors?" Mara asked. Deus shook his head. "Only ruins, like this one." One of the soldiers spoke up. "Why? Why would the Council do this?" "Control," Mara said quietly. "They create peace by eliminating anyone who threatens it." Suddenly, the data core pulsed. New information appeared. Schematics, weapon designs, technology the Kale had built in their final days. Cloaking systems, energy shields, weapons powerful enough to punch through Council armor. "They knew they were going to die," Deus said shakingly. "So they left this, a gift, for whoever found it next." "They left us a weapon," Mara realized. For 3 months they worked. Mara's crew stripped the Kale structure of everything useful. They learned, they adapted, they combined human engineering with alien technology nobody had seen in 10,000 years. Ships were rebuilt, weapons were upgraded, soldiers trained with equipment that made them faster, stronger, deadlier. The Dead Belt became their fortress.
They found a dying planet, toxic atmosphere, broken gravity, radiation storms, and made it home. They called it Bastion. Other human ships found them. Word spread through secret channels. Exiled fleets, refugee colonies, outlaws and soldiers. They all came to Bastion, and they all wanted the same thing: revenge. But Mara wanted something else. Late at night, she would return to the Kale data core. She would watch the hologram of the mother and child, and she would think of her daughter. Was she still alive? Had Earth already been destroyed? She didn't know, but she knew one thing. The Council had done this before, and they would do it again, unless someone stopped them. One night, the alarm screamed. "Captain, we have an incoming vessel! Council signature!" the scanner operator shouted. Mara ran to the bridge. On the screen, a small probe drifted towards Bastion, sleek, advanced, watching them. "It found us. They know we're here," someone said. Mara stared at the probe. Every instinct told her to destroy it, to stay hidden. But then she thought of the Kale. Hiding didn't save them. "Let it watch," she said coldly. "Let them see what we're becoming. Let them be afraid." The probe drifted closer, recording everything: the ships, the weapons, the army they were building. And then it turned, started heading back towards Council space. "Should we destroy it?" her weapons officer asked. "No." Mara smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. "Let it deliver our message." 3 days later, the probe returned, but this time it was different. It was transmitting a message, audio only, and the voice that came through made Mara's heart stop. It was human. "Mara Kane, my name is Varen. I helped the Council exile our people. I know you hate me. You should. But listen carefully. They're planning something worse than exile. Project Solstice. They're going to sterilize Earth in 6 months, kill everyone, erase every trace of humanity. I've sent you coordinates to a hidden stargate. It leads to the Galactic Core, to the Council Citadel. That's where the weapon is, the only thing that can stop Solstice. But Mara, I need you to know something else. Your daughter." The transmission cut off. Static filled the bridge. Everyone looked at Mara. Her face had gone white. "Find that signal's origin, now." But deep down, she already knew. Whatever came next would change everything.
It started at 3:47 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. 7 billion people stopped breathing at the exact same moment. In Tokyo, a businessman collapsed on the subway platform. In New York, a mother dropped her baby, but her husband caught the child because he had also frozen mid-step. In London, cars crashed into each other as every driver's body went rigid. For 30 seconds, humanity stopped. Then, the memories came. Commander Vrix watched it happen from his ship hidden behind Earth's moon. His scanning equipment showed something impossible. Every human brain on the planet was firing at maximum capacity, all at once. "Commander Thane!" Vrix screamed into the communicator. "Something is happening to them." Thane's voice came through, filled with ancient terror. "It has begun. The awakening. Get away from that planet now." "What is happening to them?" "They are remembering, you fool. Remembering what they were before the precursors locked them away. If you value your life, jump to hyperspace and—" The transmission cut off. Vrix stared at Earth with growing horror. On the surface, every human city was lighting up like stars, power grids overloading, electrical storms forming over every major population center. Then he saw something that made his blood freeze. Heat signatures rising from beneath the planet's crust, forming patterns, geometric patterns spanning entire continents. "By the ancestors," Vrix whispered, "Earth is not a planet, it is a machine." Dr. Sarah Chen woke up screaming, but she was not Sarah Chen. She was Vara, commander of the 7th Harvester Legion. 300 million years ago, she had stood on the bridge of a world ship and watched entire civilizations burn. No, that was not her. That was someone else, something else. But the memories would not stop. She saw herself, her other self, walking through a city of crystalline towers, the precursor capital. She was being praised, decorated. They called her their greatest creation. You are the perfect weapon, adaptable, relentless. You learn from every enemy. You become stronger with every battle. You are humanity. You are the future of war. The vision shifted. Now she stood on a dying world. The sky was red with fire. Around her, thousands of humans, but not humans as they were now. These humans had skin that shifted like liquid metal, eyes that saw in every spectrum, hands that could tear through steel. They were feeding, not eating, feeding, absorbing the genetic material of the aliens they had defeated, taking their strengths, their abilities, their evolution. We are the apex harvesters. We do not conquer. We consume. We adapt. We become. Present Sarah screamed again, and the vision shattered. She was back in her apartment. Her hands were pressed against her head. Blood dripped from her nose. Her phone was ringing. 47 missed calls, all from the lab, all from Marcus, all from government agencies. She answered. Marcus? Sarah, it happened to everyone, the whole world. We all saw it. We all remembered. His voice was breaking. What are we? What are we? I do not know, she whispered, but she knew. Deep down, in a place older than thought, she knew exactly what humanity was. Weapons, living weapons created by an empire that no longer existed. On the Zaluth homeworld, the council gathered in emergency session. Elder Thane stood before them, his body shaking with fear he had not felt in eons. The seal has broken. Earth's core has reactivated the genetic memories. They remember what they were, what they are. How long until full awakening? Another elder asked. The planetary AI estimates 48 hours. After that, the combat protocols will fully activate. The hunger will return. Then we must destroy Earth now, before they... It is too late. Thane's scream echoed through the chamber. He brought up a holographic display. It showed Earth, but around Earth, space itself was bending, distorting. The planetary defense grid is active. We cannot get close. We cannot fire weapons. Earth is now protected by technology we do not understand, technology that predates our entire civilization. The precursor defenses? Yes. Earth is now the most defended location in the known universe, and in 48 hours, the most dangerous species ever created will remember how to use those defenses. And Elder spoke quietly. Then we are already dead. No, Thane's voice was grim. Not yet. There is one chance, one possibility the precursors never considered. What? The humans have evolved. They have changed. They have something the original harvesters never had. What is that? Guilt, conscience, love. Thane looked at the other elders. If we can reach them before the protocols fully activate, we might convince them to fight their own nature, to choose something other than what they were designed to be. That is impossible. No species can fight genetic programming that deep. Then we are witnessing the end of galactic civilization. Thane's voice was hollow. Because if humans remember everything, if they become what they once were, there is no force in this universe that can stop them. Back on Earth, Sarah Chen stood at her apartment window watching the sun rise. Deep inside her mind, something ancient stirred, something hungry, and somewhere beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a city older than memory, machines that had slept for 300 million years began to wake.
The countdown had begun.
We weren't refugees anymore. We were hunters, and the galaxy had become our hunting ground. They came from everywhere. Ships appeared from asteroid fields, from abandoned stations, from the darkest corners of exile space where even pirates feared to go. Some were military vessels, scarred and retrofitted. Others were cargo haulers turned into weapons platforms. A few were little more than scrap metal held together by rage and desperation, but they all came. Within 72 hours, 300 ships surrounded Bastion. No flags, no uniforms, no chains of command, just one purpose. Mara stood on the bridge of her flagship, now called the Remembrance, and watched them arrive. Each ship represented a story, a family destroyed, a home burned, a life stolen. "Captain," Deus approached her, "we've got a problem. Half these crews are criminals, pirates, smugglers. Some of them have killed other humans. I don't care what they were, only what they're willing to become." She opened a channel. Her face appeared on every screen in the fleet. "You all know why you're here," she said. "No introduction, no speech. The Council didn't just exile us. They're planning to erase us. In 6 months, Earth dies. Everyone we left behind, everyone we couldn't save, unless we stop them." Silence across 300 ships. "But I'm not asking you to die for Earth. I'm asking you to make them pay for what they did. Every species that turned their back on us, every ambassador who stayed silent, every council member who voted to throw us away like garbage." Her voice dropped, cold as space itself. "We are the Shadow Fleet. We have no home, no government, no rules except one. We remember everything." A roar erupted across the comms. 300 ships, thousands of voices, all screaming in agreement. Mara closed the channel. Reeves stood beside her. That was one hell of a speech. He wasn't a speech. It was a promise. The first strike came 3 days later. A council supply station on the edge of controlled space. Small, lightly defended, the kind of place that thought it was safe. The Shadow Fleet dropped out of hyperspace at midnight station time. No warning, no demands, just violence. Mara's ships tore through the defense grid in minutes. Kinetic rounds shredded automated turrets. Boarding parties breached the hull before the station could even send a distress signal. The humans moved through the corridors like ghosts, silent, efficient, deadly. They found 37 council personnel, administrators, supply officers, one diplomat. "Please," the diplomat begged, as Mara's soldiers surrounded him. "I'm unarmed. This is a civilian station. The peace accords." "There are no peace accords," a soldier said flatly. "Not for us." Mara walked through the station after it was secured. Bodies everywhere. Not human bodies. Never human bodies anymore. She stopped at the main cargo bay. Crates filled with supplies, food, medicine, equipment. "Take everything useful," she ordered. "Burn the rest." "Captain," one of her officers hesitated. "There are escape pods, survivors. Should we—" "Let them go," Mara interrupted. "I want them to deliver a message." Before they left, they carved 3 words into the station's main hull, deep, so deep the metal glowed. "We remember everything." The survivors were found 6 hours later by a council patrol. When command heard their story, panic spread like fire. "They had weapons we've never seen, technology that shouldn't exist, and their eyes, they looked at us like we weren't even alive." The council sent a fleet to investigate, 40 ships, heavily armed. They found the station in ruins, and the message. But they found something else, too. In the station's database, the humans had left files, copies of Project Solstice, proof of the planned genocide, and a list.
7 species, the ones the Council had exiled before. "This is fake," a Council admiral declared. "Human propaganda." But deep down, some of them knew. They'd heard the whispers, seen the classified files, known what their leaders were capable of. And now humanity knew too. The attacks continued, one station after another. Supply depots, communication hubs, research outposts. Never large targets, never military strongholds, but always strategic, always bloody, and always with the same message: we remember everything. The Council mobilized, fleets were dispatched, patrols increased. They called humanity terrorists, savages, a virus that needed to be exterminated. But privately, in closed meetings, some Council members started asking questions. What if the humans are right? What if Project Solstice is discovered by other species? "Then we accelerate the timeline," the Council leader said coldly. "Humanity dies in 3 months, not 6. Meanwhile, Mara's fleet grew stronger. They salvaged Council technology from every wreck, studied their tactics, learned their weaknesses. Deus worked day and night combining human engineering with Kale designs and stolen Council systems. The result was something terrifying. Ships that could cloak mid-battle, weapons that phased through shields, armor that regenerated. "We're becoming something new," Deus told Mara one night. "Not quite human anymore, not quite alien, something in between." "Good," Mara replied. "Humans couldn't beat the Council, but maybe we can." The turning point came at the Aros Drift. A Council patrol fleet, 80 ships, elite forces, tracked the Shadow Fleet to a gravity well near a dying star. "We have them trapped. No escape, no reinforcements. End this." The battle began at dawn. Council ships opened fire first, coordinated volleys, perfect formations, textbook military strategy. But the Shadow Fleet didn't fight like a military. They fought like survivors. Ships broke formation, scattered, danced between gravity wells that should have crushed them. They used the dying star's radiation as cover, fired from angles that shouldn't exist. And the Kale weapons, the Council had never seen anything like them. One shot punched through 3 ships at once, energy beams that didn't just destroy shields, they ate them, consumed them, turned them into fuel. "What are those weapons?" the Council admiral screamed. "Unknown technology. It's not in our database. It's not even theoretically possible." The Shadow Fleet didn't just win, they slaughtered. When it was over, 74 Council ships were destroyed. 6 managed to escape. The humans lost 11 ships, but those 11 took 5 Council vessels with them as they died. Mara walked through the wreckage field afterwards. Her ship's external cameras showed the carnage. Thousands of bodies floating in space, debris that stretched for miles. "Send a message to the survivors. Tell them we're coming for the core. Tell them to be ready." But that night, something unexpected happened. A transmission, not from the Council, from somewhere else. It was encrypted with codes only Mara knew. Personal codes, family codes. She opened it alone in her quarters. The screen flickered, and a face appeared. A girl, 16 years old, dark hair, eyes that looked so much like Mara's, but colder, harder. "Hello, Mother," the girl said. Her voice was empty, emotionless. Mara's hands gripped the console so hard her knuckles cracked. "But 3 months ago," Lyria continued, "they showed me a video, a recording when I was 10 years old. You were there. You were trying to reach me during the evacuation. You were screaming my name." A pause. Something flickered in the girl's eyes, something human. I started asking questions they didn't want me to ask. So I hacked their systems, found files, Project Solstice, the 7 extinct species, everything. Mara leaned closer to the screen. "Varen tried to help me," Lyria whispered. He was going to smuggle me out, but they caught him, killed him. I watched them do it. Then who sent me his message? Mara breathed. Lyria's face hardened. I did, she said. I used his codes, his voice recordings. I needed you to come, because I can't stop what's happening alone. But Mother, you need to know something. The Citadel isn't just a command station. It's a trap. They know you're coming. They've been tracking your fleet since Aros, and they're waiting. The screen distorted. Lyria looked behind her, panicked. They're coming. I don't have much time. Mother, listen. There are 57 human children here, all like me, all being trained as weapons. If you attack the Citadel, they'll use us as shields. They'll make you kill your own children. No, Mara whispered.
They wanted to erase us from history. Instead, we became their nightmare. But nightmares can become real. The gates spat them out into hell. The Council Citadel hung in space like a metal god, massive, ancient, surrounded by 3 defensive rings, each bristling with weapons, and beyond those rings waited the Council fleet. Not 80 ships, not 100, thousands. Captain, the scanner officer's voice shook. I'm reading 4,000 vessels, capital ships, dreadnoughts. They mobilized everything. The bridge went silent. Mara stared at the impossible numbers. The Shadow Fleet had 300 ships against 4,000. They're hailing us, communications reported. A face appeared on screen, the Council leader, ancient, reptilian, eyes like black holes. Captain Kane, it hissed. We've been expecting you. Did you really think we didn't know? We've been tracking your pathetic rebellion since you crawled out of the dead belt. Then you know why I'm here, Mara said coldly. For your daughter? The Council leader smiled. It was a terrible smile. Yes, Subject 17, remarkable specimen. We've trained her very well. The screen split. Another image appeared. Lyria, standing in a white room. But she wasn't alone. Behind her stood 56 other children, all human, all between ages 10 and 16, all wearing identical gray uniforms, all holding weapons. These are your children, the Council leader said. Humanity's future. We've spent years conditioning them, teaching them, and now, it leaned forward, they're going to kill you. Lyria's face was blank, empty, like a doll. Lyria, Mara shouted, I know you can hear me. I know you remember. She remembers nothing, the Council leader interrupted. We erased every memory, every emotion, every trace of humanity. They are weapons now, perfect, obedient, and aimed directly at your heart. You're lying, Mara breathed. Am I? The screen showed a close-up of Lyria. Subject 17, execute Protocol Omega. Lyria's hand moved to a device on her belt. Her eyes never blinked. That device, the Council leader said, contains a biological agent specifically designed to target human DNA. If she activates it, every human within 1,000 kilometers dies, including your fleet, including herself. Mara felt ice in her veins. You have 2 choices, the Council leader continued. Surrender now. Your entire species submits to Council judgment. Or attack and watch your own children kill themselves just to take you with them. The transmission ended. The bridge erupted in chaos, officers shouting, arguing. Some wanted to attack anyway. Some wanted to retreat. Some wanted to find another way. But Mara just stood there, staring at the screen where her daughter's face had been. Captain, Reeves approached carefully. What do we do? Mara didn't answer, because in that moment, she understood. The Council had already won. They hadn't just taken her daughter, they'd turned her into the ultimate weapon, a bomb that would destroy humanity if they fought back. "We can't attack," someone said. "They'll activate the children." "We can't surrender," another argued. "They'll kill us anyway." "There's no way to win," a third whispered. And that's when Deus spoke up. "Actually," Deus said quietly, "there might be." Everyone turned to him. "The transmission," Deus continued, his fingers flying across his console. "When the council leader showed us the children, I scanned the signal, traced it back. The children aren't on the Citadel." "What?" Mara snapped. "They're on a ship," Deus said, "hidden in the fleet, a medical frigate, about 500 kilometers from our position. And Captain, the ship's shields are offline. They're running silent. They don't think we can detect them." A spark of hope. "How long to reach them?" Mara demanded. "With our fastest ships, 15 minutes. But Captain, we'd have to go through the Council fleet. Suicide run." Mara turned to Reeves. "Assemble a strike team. 20 ships, our fastest, best pilots." "Captain, 20 ships against 4,000. "Won't be fighting 4,000, because the rest of the fleet is going to give them something else to worry about." She opened a channel to the entire Shadow Fleet. "All ships, this is Captain Kane. What I'm about to ask, some of you won't make it back, most of you won't. But if we succeed, we save 57 children, we stop Project Solstice, and we show the galaxy that humanity doesn't break." She took a breath. "I'm asking for volunteers. Who's ready to remind them what humans really are?" For 3 seconds, nothing. Then, one by one, every ship in the fleet responded. "Remembrance is ready. Vengeance standing by. Last Hope ready to burn." All 300 ships, every single one. Reeves looked at Mara. His eyes were in tears. "You beautiful fools," he whispered. The battle began 30 seconds later. The Shadow Fleet charged, not in formation, not following any doctrine, just pure, screaming chaos. The Council Fleet opened fire. Space lit up with weapons fire, missiles, lasers, kinetic rounds traveling at relativistic speeds. Ships exploded, human ships, Council ships, the void filled with death. But the Shadow Fleet didn't stop. They crashed into the Council lines like a hammer. Ships collided intentionally, rammed, self-destructed just to take enemies with them. "They're insane," a Council admiral screamed. "They're killing themselves." "Keep firing," the Council leader ordered. "Wipe them out." But while 4,000 ships fought 300, no one noticed 20 small vessels break away, cloaked, silent, moving through the chaos like ghosts. Mara led them personally. Her strike team weaved between explosions, dodged weapons fire, used debris as cover. Every second, the comms filled with death, voices screaming, ships going dark. "Fury is down. Redemption taking critical damage. This is last light. We're not gonna make it. Tell Earth we tried." Static. Mara forced herself not to listen, not to count the dead. Just focus, just move. The medical frigate appeared on scanners. White, clean, peaceful looking. "Target acquired," Mara said. "All ships, engage." They hit the frigate from every angle, cut through its hull like paper. Boarding pods launched, Marines breached. Inside it was quiet, too quiet. Mara led her team through white corridors, medical equipment everywhere, and then they found them. A chamber, 57 children, standing in perfect rows, eyes forward, expressionless. "Lyria," Mara breathed. Her daughter stood at the front, hand still on the device, ready to activate. "Subject 17, execute Protocol Omega, now." Lyria's hand moved toward the button. "Wait," Mara shouted. "Lyria, please, I know you can hear me. I know you remember." "She remembers nothing," the council leader interrupted. We erased every memory, every emotion, every trace of humanity. They are weapons now, perfect, obedient, and aimed directly at your heart. You're lying, Mara breathed. Am I? The screen showed a close-up of Lyria. Subject 17, execute protocol Omega. Lyria's hand moved toward the button. Wait, Mara shouted. Lyria, please, I know you can hear me. I know you remember. She remembers nothing, the council leader interrupted. We erased every memory, every emotion, every trace of humanity. They are weapons now, perfect, obedient, and aimed directly at your heart. You're lying, Mara breathed. Am I? The screen showed a close-up of Lyria. Subject 17, execute protocol Omega. Lyria's hand moved toward the button. Wait, Mara shouted. Lyria, please, I know you can hear me. I know you remember. She remembers nothing, the council leader interrupted. We erased every memory, every emotion, every trace of humanity. They are weapons now, perfect, obedient, and aimed directly at your heart. You're lying, Mara breathed. Am I? The screen showed a close-up of Lyria. Subject 17, execute protocol Omega. Lyria's hand moved toward the button. Wait, Mara shouted. Lyria, please, I know you can hear me. I know you remember. She remembers nothing, the council leader interrupted.